And we are recording. Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Sharon Ann here. I'm a trauma coach for female frontline workers, doctors, social workers, psychologists, PhD individuals, therapists who are struggling with anxiety, depression, dissociation, and PTSD, looking to better themselves as a whole so they can go on to effectively give back to their future clients. I want to let them know that you are not defined by your mental health condition, that labels are for cans, not for people, and as future mental health workers, you're capable of rising to success, just like the clients in your care. Anyway, I want to come on today talking about toxic guilt. Let's get the ball rolling. Why did the robot go to therapy? Again, why did the robot go to therapy? Because even robots get tired of pretending to have the perfect family. Toxic guilt. It's that nagging feeling in the pit of your stomach, especially when you're dealing with a narcissistic mother who justifies everything by saying, I'm Filipino, you just don't understand me. You know, English is my second language. Sure by the fact. That's something I hear a lot in my own family. As if that's an excuse to everything, but I think it just deflects things as a whole. The moment you try to speak up for yourself, you're labeled as the problem. You're labeled as disrespectful. By staying silent, it doesn't help either. You're trapped in this vicious cycle of feeling like you have to be part of a robot family, programmed to act a certain way, to think a certain way, but ridiculed for not expressing yourself. All is well if you think the same way as your family, if you have the same belief system as they do, you think what they think, you have the same memories they do, you talk the same way that they do. Yet the moment you try to be your authentic self, it's wrong. Like being in a game of chess where every move you make, it lands you in checkmate. Toxic guilt. Toxic guilt, it shows up in several ways. When you try to set boundaries, letting your yes be yes and your no be no, it made it feel selfish or ungrateful. On my end, for example, I set a boundary with family a long time ago, but I'll never add them or follow them on my social media accounts. I don't do that to be mean. I do it mainly for safety, to avoid the family gossip train, and to keep my own mental health in place. Earlier on, I was told I was being mean, nasty, self centered. I didn't care about anyone but myself. I was told things such as your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, nieces, and nephews, they love you, but they don't love you in return. That, my friends, is toxic guilt. For example, I know that on my end, there's been things about my own life that I would love to share with my family, and if I take the gamble and tell them about it, I'll only receive responses such as, well, you know how to do that. How dare you do that? Shame on you. People are just choosing you because you have things better than them. Friends, that's toxic guilt. Sometimes I'll even share my opinion and insights on something family wise, only for it to come back and haunt me later in life, or I'm shamed for thinking the way I do. False guilt sets in and runs my day to where nothing else gets accomplished. I got better with that over the years. For many of us who have survived trauma or childhood trauma, this guilt becomes chronic, especially when we're around family members who gaslight us or minimize our experiences. Minimize our experiences. I'm often told that I have a photographic mind, something I shared about in a few of my videos. I recall details so well that I can remember something that took place on a specific date a year ago, a month ago, 2 years ago. I don't remember the lesson behind it then. The story sticks out to me and sticks with me like glue. Recently, I shared about an outing we took last year, and this time at a local mall in the area with family. I talk about what my mom was wearing, the music being played, the stores we went to, yet I was told the event never took place. I started to doubt my own memory. Crazy. I mean, especially for someone who has a photographic mind. I was told that I was imagining things. Gaslighting, it only minimizes our experiences, family wise. So if every family encounter, it drags us back to the deepest and darkest chapter of our lives. the several jobs, are you still hung up on that? It wasn't that bad. Those things reinforce the idea that our pain isn't valid. If the truth is that all emotions are meant to be expressed, not to be buried alive. If we're feeling angry, we're meant to feel angry. If we're feeling sad, we're meant to feel sad. If we bury our emotions, they eat us alive. Toxic guilt, when you try to set boundaries, you're made to feel selfish or ungrateful. I'll share that on my end. One boundary I have with family to please don't use bleach to clean anything when I'm around. I say this because when I'm around bleach, my lungs start to close up on me. I feel like I can't breathe. My eyes water. I start to cough. I break out into really bad hives. Often I'm told that I'm overreacting, I'm exaggerating things. But I just want them to clean a certain way. I'll get yelled at for speaking, for expressing my wants and needs, and I feel guilty for setting the boundary, for having an expectation I don't necessarily have control over. That, friends, is toxic guilt. Toxic guilt. If you don't comply with family expectations, you're labeled as a problem child. It's like in a toxic family, which I also kind of think of as in the mesh family, even though they're somewhat different. If you don't comply with family expectations, you're labeled as the problem child, just like the movie. Elaborating on this, it's like in a toxic family, you're expected to have the same feelings as everyone else, to believe what they believe, to think the same way they think, act the same way they think, have the same values as them, and anything else isn't open up for discussion. When you distance yourself to protect your mental health, you're accused of banning the family. And if you confront the unhealthy behaviors, you're gaslighted, and you're thinking you're overacting or being too sensitive. It's an impossible balancing act with no win. Friends, and I feel like you guys are listening to me ramble. Do you ever feel like you're stuck in a no win situation with your family? If so, let's grab a virtual coffee chat and talk about how you can break free from toxic guilt. Ready to work through it? Book your session below. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye bye.